All right, guys, we got a 2012 Subaru all-wheel drive Impreza, and we got an issue where it's given a P2091 error, I believe it is. That's camshaft B circuit control. So I've troubleshooted this and narrowed it down to the PCM. So let me show you where it is. All right, now we're in the front of the car. So this one at the bottom right here is camshaft B bank 1, right? So you got these two cables right here. It's like a red and pink and red, and a blue and red, I believe. So this wire harness snakes here basically, and it comes to this junction connection. So you can trace those cables. Figure out where it is. I believe it's this one and that one. It's right around here in this area. One of these, some of these here. I'll show it to you later. And you'll trace it back to the other color, which is here. The color switch is on this side, and the PCM location is here. By the way, I've tested these cables, and I tested them with load, which you should always do with a test light. And the PCM is under the glove box. It is, where's it at? It's right there. You see the connections, 1, 2, 3, 4. And those same wires are basically on the first connector right here. You'll find it, I believe it's position 7 and 15 on this connector. So I ran current and ground to the connector both ways, and I tested the wiring, and it's 100% good. I also checked the sensor itself, and it was reading when you run a multimeter across both terminals of the actual camshaft sensor, it should give you between 7 and 12 ohms, and it was reading 8 ohms, which is in specs. So, and it's also been swapped out like 3 times, and they've actually swapped the motor on this car like 3 times, so with the same error. So I went ahead and eliminated it to a faulty engine computer. This is a replacement. So what we're going to do is go ahead and pull out the original engine computer, and then we're going to clone that engine computer onto this one. So right now I'm going to just connect it and see my readings. So this is the actual connector, the first one I showed you that had that sensor camshaft B, and it's this one. If you look at the face of the connector so you can see which one it is, it's this red wire, which is position 7, and then it's the, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the second wire is this blue with the red stripe right down here, the second row. All right, I've got the replacement PCM connected. Now I'm going to check to see what errors I get on key on, engine off. So let's give it a start. Just did a key on, engine off test, and the error did go away. The error would come on a P2091 2091 when you just have the key on without starting the car. You would get a circuit error, and now with the replacement PCM, that error does not show up. I'm going to show you what does show up, and those are probably other errors that I wasn't called out to address. It could be disconnected, the oxygen sensors or whatnot, but it looks at this point it's confirmed that is a bad PCM that is causing the P2091, as my diag did prove. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out the original PCM and the replacement PCM, and you're going to, on the next part of this video, we're going to be at the bench to actually do a clone of the PCM. Stay tuned. Like and subscribe, by the way, guys. Can't find this anywhere. You already know the routine. Hit that thumbs up button. All right, guys, back at the bench. This is the original unit I pulled out of the car. It was just uncomfortable to hit the screws of the actual computer that the computer is mounted on the bracket. So what I did, I just actually, this is the replacement that I tested, and it works well. It does not give the error code, and you just pry this part off right here. See, there's retaining little clips here and there, and then this little cover will come off. Then you can just slide the board out. That's what I did. That's how I actually removed the computer from the car. Now, if you turn it over to the back, that is your EEPROM chip. That contains VIN information, immobilizer information, pretty much everything customization on the PCM is contained here. So what we're going to do, we're going to read this with the clip, and then we're going to back up the original on the replacement and replace it with the one on our car on here. So stay tuned. All right, guys, we connected up. Got the XP400 going. We got the clip on, and the chip is beveled on that side. So pin 1 would be to this corner. On the, as you can see, the front of the board is here. So we go into programmer, accept. Let's check in my XP400. I should be up to date. We're going to go to chip, read and write. EEPROM at mill, and if you saw it, it's 93C86 EEPROM. So we're gonna do I always go to my set. If you're on this channel, like and subscribe, look at my previous videos. We're gonna set verification. I always have the read and the write on, and you look at my previous videos, you'll see why. We're gonna go to read, and it read the first pass. It's reading it again. That means it read it twice, and the information came back identical, which means we have a good read. So we're going to go ahead and save this. That's the name. I'm going to go ahead and add to it. I'm going to call that 12 Subaru Original. Okay. Now that I've got the EEPROM backed up, I'm gonna swap this onto, by the way, I had to scrape off the, there's a coating on this board. So I scraped off the edges of the pins on both sides so that the clip would have good contact, just to note that. So I'm gonna do the same thing now. I'm gonna connect up to the donor board. I'm gonna pull this out and connect up to the clip. And we're gonna do the same process. Then we're gonna write this original EEPROM data onto the donor board. So there's the two clips on the side. I just pried it up, and then you can just pick it right up, and then the board just slides out. It's free like that. I went ahead and labeled my original board just so I won't mix them up. I just pulled out this one, flip it over, and there's our EEPROM chip. So I'm going to do the same here, scrape it off with my knife, just you know, the contacts only. You don't want to damage anything, any of these chips or anything around here. You take your time, just scrape it off to get the little gel coating off. All right, got the donor hooked up. Just hit OK, and we go back and do read. Read it one time, second pass. So that is our donor information. So I'm gonna save this one as Subaru back. Actually, I'll save it as Subaru donor. So I know that was the original one, and just hit save. Successfully saved. Okay. Now we're gonna write to this. We're gonna write the this one, the original one. This has all our security data, VIN information, all of that. Now we're gonna write it onto our donor replacement unit. And as you can see, it's right in the chip. It's gonna read it now to verify the write, and that's good. So we hit OK, and we're done. We're gonna install this into the unit, into the car, and our error should be gone, and the car should start first try. Back at the car, we're gonna go ahead and just plug it up, test it out. All right, got the replacement plugged in. Now we're gonna start it. All right, put the key in. Crank. Start it right up. right, let me check the codes now. So that was a success so far. Let's check the code, see if that main code is gone. There might be some other issues with the car, but that code was the one that kept coming up. Right, so as you probably seen, it was a success. The VIN number is correct. It matches the vehicle. That's the VIN number there. And also, there is the check engine light is due to a previous condition. The what is this? The neutral switch or something like that. That was already existing issue on the car. So what I'm going to do is just put the replacement ECM back in the slot and connect everything back, and that's it. Like and subscribe, boys. The only place that got this type of content on the whole YouTube. See y'all on the next one, man. Guys, a little bonus footage. If you noticed, the check engine light was flashing constantly, and also we got that code P0851, I believe it was. That was for the neutral safety switch. Customer came and, after I finished the job, he let me know that he's had a lot of issues with this car. Just a bad deal. He bought it and he changed the engine 3 times. He had bad engines and went through a lot. Basically, long story short, I said, let me look at it for you then. Let me see what's going on with that code. We checked the switch. Everything looked good. Original. I didn't see any damage to the wiring, anything like that. So I told him most likely he's going to need to change that switch. But I had a lot of doubt that the light was flashing. The check engine light was flashing due to that switch. But it's possible because I don't work on that many Subarus to know what the switch would cause. Anyway, long story short, I researched that error and the flashing light. Come to find out that that happens if you put the Subarus in the test mode. They've got a fuse. I'm going to show you, flash a picture of the fuse with the arrow on it. But anyway, that fuse, if you have a fuse in there, that's the test mode, and it basically kind of somewhat disables the car and puts it in a mode. From the factory, they use that to test the car, so you should never have a fuse in there. So they had a fuse in that slot, and that's what pretty much disabled the car. So removing that fuse, instantly the car started running good, no check engine, nothing, everything was solved. But he did have a bad computer and bad engines as well. So, but all of that is solved. Now the car has no codes, starts and runs fine, everything like that. Just a quick tip for you guys if you run into that error code. Like and subscribe, boys.